Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You're tuned into Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, home to the Asian Oprah, NBC News Radio, CNBC News Radio, NBC Sports Station, AM 1050, FM 106.5, streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, Audible, Tiki Live, Amazon Music, GeoSign, Podchaser, and about 28 other platforms. Why so many places? Because I want to maximize my splatter zone for more hope and happiness. So there's no gossip here, no scandal, and no K words, no Kanye talk at all. Instead, I want you to focus on your own reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time. Why not 100% of the time? People cannot be happy 100% of the time unless they're dead. I don't want dead people walking, talking, or being seen. So that's why we say 88. I know you thought I was Swedish, but 8 is a Chinese, which I am, number. It is a homophone for good fortune. So it is your good fortune to be happy 88% of the time. So I have topics and guests to that end. If you've missed any one of my 954 shows, but who's counting, just go to my YouTube channels, free subscribe there, and you will get access to all of those past shows, the Waltons, E.T. Mom D. Wallace, Red Carpet Playlist, John Travolta, Quincy Jones, Halle Berry. So it's lots of stuff for you to enjoy and to balance out all the bad news that's out there with some good news. And today is Monday, and Monday is rainy days, and Mondays always get me up. UP hashtag unlimited possibilities. I wanted to dedicate one day a week to some free happiness coaching. And we do have in studio my next volunteer, who is a wonderful gentleman who I actually met 6 years ago. He tells me, I have to believe him. I have photographic memory, but I'm out of disk space. So until I get a new external hard drive, I'm going to have to rely on other people's memories. I was teaching Balanced Tai Chi Gong, which is my moving meditation that promotes inner peace, one breath at a time, at my big brother, Michael Bernard Beckwith's spring retreat, I believe out in the desert somewhere. And Andre was a student of mine along with his wife, and he reached out on LinkedIn, I believe, to say, hello, how are you? And I said, would you like to have some free coaching? And he said, absolutely. So please welcome to my studio, Andre T. Davis.
Thank you for having me, Dr. Marissa. Good to see you again.
Absolutely. So wonderful to see you. And so what we're going to do is we're going to jump right in. We're going to skip the take a bite of my gratitude sandwich because we're going to most likely do it within the body of this coaching session. So the first thing I'd like you to do is your head is in the logo. So I want you to just lower yourself about this much. Perfect. So you're not branded by StreamYard and NBC News Radio. Wonderful. Okay. Close your eyes, please. Put your feet on the ground, palms up in your lap, taking a deep breath in with me through the nose and releasing soft shoulders, soft elbows, soft knees, engaging the physical body with the breath. And another deep breath in and releasing all the stories and the drama, engaging the mind with your breath. And then finally, deep breath in. Holding the breath, connecting with me through chi, eternal energy, the breath of life, no beginning, no end. And that's the spiritual realm or the energetic realm that connects us all. And release, igniting all those areas in your body, igniting them with the energy of eternal love, joy, peace, and harmony that connects us all. And don't open your eyes yet. I'm going to ask you a series of questions. I'm going to have you rank or rate your life in terms of, let's go to relationships first. On average, in your life, on a scale of 1 to 10, remembering that there is no 10, but 10 being out of this world, unworldly excellence in relationships, 0 being very poor. Where are you? I shouldn't say poor, not useful is what I've been doing. So on a scale of 1 to 10 or 0 to 10, where is the state of your relationships in terms of happiness? So how would you rate your relationships at this point?
I would say overall, and I would say about an 8. An 8.
Beautiful. That's my target number, so that's fabulous. So we can just revel in that. There's joy and satisfaction in your relationships. And then let's go to your health and wellness. Same scale, 1 to 10.
I would say a 9.
All right, beautiful. And the last area is job and career. Again, no judgment, but on a scale, the same scale, where is that number?
I give it about a 5.
All right, beautiful. And take one last deep breath in and release. Coming back to the room. Gently open your eyes when you're ready.
Here we go.
Fabulous, fabulous. Let's go to the 5 because I can probably, hopefully, let that number come to at least a 6 by the end of this. We'll see. That's my challenge. So far, I am 100% with my coaching. So, I shouldn't say that, right? I'm lining myself up here. But let's go to what is the mental chatter that happens that brings that number down from where you want it. So I'm sure on a range, there are some days, let's go there. The highest number in the last month is what in that category, job and career?
I would say a 7.
Okay. So when it's a 7, what is going through your mental chatter?
When it's a 7, the conversation in my mind is, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And everything for your good. Trust it.
Okay. Trust it. Beautiful. And tell me what those things are that you feel you are meant to do.
It's more along the lines of spiritual counseling. It's teaching, it's coaching, it's connecting with people and helping them tap into their good potential. So on a weekly basis, whether it's meditations, whether it's one-on-one counseling sessions with people, or even leading the Course in Miracle on a weekly basis, right? It's something along the lines where I feel like I'm tapping in and opening up my heart and using the examples and experiences that I've gone through to help point people in the direction that could help.
So that feeling of helping people, that feeling of helping them open themselves up to more, that Absolutely. Feeling of being a conduit of the energy that is for us, always for us, never against us, and being in that flow. Is that about accurate?
That's exactly it. That's it.
Okay, perfect. And let's go to the bottom. So if you had an average of 5, there are days, what is the worst thing that your mental chatter says to take you down to, what would you say the lowest number is?
The lowest number would be about a 4. I'd go a little bit lower than the 5. I'd go about a
Okay.
4. And the lowest number, I think the chatter behind it would be the should be's, right? The days that I tell myself I should be doing this or I should be doing that. So I should
Sure.
be uh, in a leadership position in a corporation. I should be doing the things that I went to school for. That kind of pathway that I place myself on without really examining who I am and what success means to me at a cellular level, as opposed to just a personality that, goes to school, gets advanced degree, and has a corporate career.
Okay. So you're shitting on yourself
Shooting on myself.
when it's 4 out of 10.
Exactly.
And let's be really clear. We're doing a tool that I call the insulting game.
Mm.
And the insulting game is in this, which you get for your reward for volunteering or being a victim, is an audiobook copy. This is 8 Ways to Happiness from Wherever You Are.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my baby. And it is filled with exercises. So one of the exercises is the insulting game. And the insulting game says, let's be really clear about all those voices. Because one of the things that people tend to do is when that critical chatter comes in, we push it down, we throw it out, we try to ignore it. And what you don't deal with will come back and deal with you, including all of that negative talk.
Mm-hmm.
And I have found, and this is not, for everybody, but especially if any one of you listening right now, you should know, shouldn't. I almost should it on you, but you will be familiar with my story that I didn't write this book as a psychologist, even though I am, to tell you how to be happy. I wrote it from the perspective of someone who's had childhood trauma. And that's 7 out of 10 of us. We are the majority who, without dealing with that trauma and pushing it down and pushing it away, it festers and it gets infected, and it will come up and bite you somewhere around midlife crisis, or what I call midlife opportunity. So I want you to absolutely be as honest as possible and as clear as possible and as painfully as possible now to speak those words. Now, this may be against, it's a little bit against law of attraction, which I do coach in, that says never speak of those things necessarily because it's not good going back. I agree with that, but I've also found in my experience that unless I go there one last time and get it out, then it will continue to spiral around me. So you said you should be working in a field that you chose and went and got an advanced degree in. You should be a leader in the organization already. You should have used your degree for more than you have. You should have followed that track and you would be already in another position. You should, what else? Fill in the blank.
Well, actually, I had all of that and I chose to let it go.
Okay.
So for me, doing the inner work, the awakening was the should for me, right? Was the challenge for me. So I went through, when I met you, that's when the spiritual path really kind of accelerated for me. Went through numerous ayahuasca ceremonies and did a lot of just inner work with, Reverend Beckwith and taking classes. So for me, it was the contrast, right? The life that I created, the paradigm that I created in comparison to what I now know to be true about myself. Okay. And so I remember one day where I was listening to Bob Proctor. And at that time, I was a vice president of a tech company. I had everything that I thought I wanted. But at the same time, there was something inside of me that I knew that I had to be willing to give up good enough to get great. Right. And so I'm listening to Bob Proctor, and he's talking about, I think it's Sandy Gallagher. She's taken over the organization, stepping into a larger role. And he's talking about a story where she's submitting her letter of resignation to a law firm. And she sends it to him. And he's just reading. He's like, just jump, you grow wings along the way, just jump. And I heard it and it hit me so hard in the heart. I knew that was my story, right? I had to have the courage to jump and to take that jump and be willing to let go of good enough in order to get great. And so I did it. I jumped. I honored that. I honored that commitment because I knew there was something greater inside of me that wants to be birthed. And so I let go of all the things that I thought I should have. However, in the process of embodying the greater yet to be is when I get the chatter, right?
Yes.
The old paradigm is still present while
Yes.
the new paradigm is being born. And so those days when it's a 4, the mind chatter is off the hook, right? It's off the meat rack at a 4. But then there's days when I'm centered. There's moments when I'm in the flow, as you said earlier. And that 7 is beautiful. And I feel like I'm in the direction of where I am.
So I'm gonna introduce something. We'll see if it takes.
Yeah.
Is it possible that you were great already in what you were doing with that degree, with the VP, with all of that, instead of judging it as I wasn't awake yet, I wasn't in the place I should have been. I didn't know that there was a greater yet to be. And take out that judgment of all that you have experienced and created and used. That same being that you are was supposed to be, do, have, operate, move and groove, jive and lead, create and problem solve, that all of that was also part of the creation of who you are now. And that there was no shoulda, there was no coulda, there was no I made a left turn and I should have made a right turn, and why did I spend all that time there, and now I'm really doing what I was meant to do. No.
Yeah.
You were meant to do all of those things and create that space and that knowledge and that expertise that you got along the way, that is all part of it. You cannot tell me that all those years of learning how, your discipline of studying and your discipline of figuring things out and your discipline of developing the technical side of you is not a valuable part of who you are, that makes you just even more in this path of helping those who are reveling in your experience. Is it possible?
Absolutely. That's beautiful. It's a complete different reframe. It's a reframe for me. It as you were saying that, it opened up more space.
Good. Because if you have that BS, if you let go of the belief system that it was then and now, and I love Bob Proctor, and I got to interview him, and he is on the other side, and I know he's agreeing with both of us. I don't think that he in that jump, it was not saying that where you were was not of value. And I think that a lot of people, I'm so glad you this is being presented, because a lot of people, even in the pandemic, the opportunity that the pandemic offered all of us was to stop and say, who am I and what do I want to do? And do I really like what I'm doing? And do I really want to continue? Not saying oh my God, I have wasted 2 decades of my life
Mhm.
doing something I hate. No, you loved what you did for a chapter of your life.
Correct.
And please don't throw the baby out with the
Mhm.
bathwater. I meet so many people who's like, I hate what I do. And I really, I should have been doing something else.
Mhm.
And I love this, but it doesn't make the money energy that I need to be able to afford the level of living that I've lived. And it's like, then don't jump. there's that's not very smart, right?
Mm.
You know that you can make money energy with this stuff that you know how to do and you're good at it. Let's love that again.
Mhm.
Let's get to the place where I can appreciate all the gifts and talents that I have already developed.
Mhm.
And there's nothing that says I cannot do both. There's
Mm.
nothing that says I can't do this and that. There's nothing that says I can use the ease of money energy that I can get
Mhm.
from doing this to funnel into a greater platform for what I do of this. There,
Mhm.
that source energy, that is the abundance that is there.
Mhm.
So I am knowing that there's a convergence. I'm not saying don't jump. I'm saying,
Mhm.
you can jump and you can jump and then jump and then jump. Yes,
Mm.
there's a to have your feet in something that is so rich.
Mhm.
Why would I leave that richness, right, until there was fertile ground
Mm.
on the other side?
Mm.
Okay, so there, I love the unlimited possibilities is my theme for
Mhm.
this year, because the pandemic has helped people understand that the American dream,
That
which
part.
is go to a good school, get a
Mhm.
good degree, get a job, do well, move up. You can only do one thing. Jack of all trades, master of none. That's
Mhm.
bullshitaki,
Right.
right? Out one life, man. One life with many chapters. Who
Mhm.
says I cannot do more than one thing? Who says I cannot have a fulfilling career and then I can have a fulfilling career and then I can have a fulfilling career? And
Right.
I'm just saying that the BS belief system that you've
Mhm.
done something wrong
Mm.
or not to your best abilities, that's bullshit hockey.
Okay. Mhm.
You did beautifully, and
Mm.
celebrate that and
Mhm.
revel in that and be proud of that. There's, people as well, the ego, let go of my ego. I say that, let go of my ego,
Mhm.
edging God out. No, 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 no. Ego is also part of the beautiful nature of who we are.
Mhm.
So if we have accomplished things, there's nothing wrong with saying, look what I've done. That's good, right?
That's it.
It's it. So tell me about what you have done in the past that you don't focus on, that you want to jump from.
Done a lot of cool stuff. I had a great
Yeah.
opportunity. I mean, I built a beautiful career. I started out, and believe it or not, I was in wine sales. I was in wine sales and right out of college. And so being able to leverage the experience that I was in undergrad, I learned Italian. I studied in Italy. So leveraging that to learn about wines and parlayed that wines into working with physicians. I know doctors like to going out to eat dinner. And so I worked as a drug rep for several years. And when it came time for dinner, I was the guy that ordered all the wines. But I decided to then focus my career in the healthcare. So I went back and got an MBA with a concentration in healthcare, specialized in operations, and then found myself eventually working for technology companies and large healthcare organizations. focusing on supply chain, which was a beautiful career. It's something that I enjoyed because I felt like I was giving back, but also using my critical thinking skills to help solve problems. I mean, it's a very rewarding career, both, financially and, internally. You feel like you're contributing to a greater vision. So a lot of success and a lot of great opportunities and connections that I made along the journey. So to your point, I honor that and I celebrate it because, you know, it's something that one, I was very intentional about doing, and it took a lot of effort to get to that point and the willingness to do it. And I think particularly in the last role, I mean, opening up spaces for people of color in technology was huge. I mean, because it was at a time when, of course, the country was going through the pandemic, and we were going through, all of the rioting, and then all of the, just racial, issues that were happening at the time. Being able to say, hey, listen, this is not only happening in the streets, it's happening in corporate America as well. There are people who come here and do not feel like they belong. They don't feel seen. They don't feel like they have any space in here. And so being able to take the platform that I had to be able to help hire executives that, focused on diversity, inclusion, and belongingness, to be able to have honest conversation with leadership, to say, hey, these are some of the things that I recognize. It's powerful. And there was a lot of value, and I think a lot of awareness that was created as a result of being willing to speak up and being willing to shine a light on some of the issues that I felt were pertinent to people of color, to feel like they could really show up and be who they are.
Mm, mm. You are so rich. You are rich with the experience that you have collected in at least 2 chapters of your life already.
Thank you.
Okay. So I want you to really anchor that, because that is the talk that you will use when the chatter that comes from your critic comes into play.
I like that. I like that. Carry some evidence with you. Carry some evidence. I like that.
Yes, this is your evidence. Now, you said, I was doing this with the wines. I knew I was the guy to call, but then I decided to focus to healthcare. I want you to change the but to, and then, so that is your transition into the next chapter. And in that first chapter, you developed the ability to know what a fine wine is. You got to adapt to different cultures. You got to develop your connecting charm abilities to be the go-to guy. You developed the fun side of, life. All of those things never going to be taken away. Never put down again, because that was an experience that added to the dimension of Andre. Chapter 1. Okay. Chapter 2, healthcare. All the things that were developed in that chapter, supply chain, all the, diversity, being able to assess leadership, all of those, Andre, chapter 2. I want you to actually go and write these out, okay? Because your critic is only going to respect balance-centered Andre. That is who you are. You are balance-centered Andre. The voice that's speaking in your head, the critical, is not balance-centered Andre. It is the critic. Who was the most critical person in your life? And you're not putting them down, but it's used as an identification piece. So as soon as the critical chatter comes, you can call them on the carpet. All right. So just give me the initials.
I would say it come from my parents. I wouldn't have.
So we're going to call it CP. So critical parents. Okay. So how come you're not using you took all that time to get an MBA? Thank you very much, CP. I hear you. Now, CP is more now than your critical parents, because you've taken every single criticism you've gotten in your life, and you now put them all in that one critical persona. Okay. Same with mine. I call my critic Rose. Guess what my mom's name is? Rose. So Rose is way bigger than my mom. It's all the criticism. So as soon as you hear it, you catch it, you take a breath, you come into balance centered Andre, and you say, thank you very much, CP. I hear you. You've been saying this my entire life. I got it written down in my insulting game. I hear you. And that's one way of looking at my life. But I am balance centered Andre, and this is how I choose to see my life now. That was in a chapter where I wanted an MBA to be able to do the things that I did in that chapter. And I did them. And I did them well. And now we're at a new chapter.
Facts. I love it.
Okay.
Carry the evidence. I carry the evidence.
Okay. So tell me now what skills that you have developed in your first 2 chapters that you are using now in your 3rd chapter.
First and foremost, the ability to connect. All right. The ability to connect with people and also identify what challenges they're trying to solve. I think as a salesperson, that's kind of top line. All right. Every good salesperson understands the importance of connecting, establishing rapport, but then also being able to drill down deep into the heart of the matter. What's the heart? What's truly the challenge that you're facing? And what solutions do I have in my toolbox to help you solve them? So I use that on the day, whether spiritual counseling and just holding the high watch for someone despite all conditions that they've been going through, but connecting, creating that space for them so that they feel like they're seen, affirmed, and, all the other good stuff.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Good. And there's more, right? And we're not going to go with those more right now, because I also want you to be open. Now that we've established there's no either or, it's all and. Okay. To be open. And this is another thing that I have recently become very clear about as well in my own life. Because when the pandemic happened, as a motivational speaker, there were a lot of things that were lost, right? A lot of gigs, a lot of big, money, energy things. And there's easier ways to make money, which is an energy, and there's more difficult ways of making money energy. And so I have been fighting a person who for the last 5 years has said to me, there are easier ways that you can have some money energy so that you could use that money energy to fuel and fund and expand what it is that you love to do, right? Not saying that you don't love the other thing, but that, and I'm actually going to have him on the show in a couple of weeks. Okay. And it's this whole finance market. So I'm just talking about, for me, right now with the uncertainty around money and, banks, right? And low interest rates, and what do you do with your money? Stocks. I've lost lots of money in stocks. Everybody has. And, the motivational speaking is coming back slowly. Coaching, you just can't charge people like what you're doing. They're not in that space yet where they have a lot of money. And I feel bad when I charge. So there's a lot of people being laid off. Right? There's a lot of people with a lot of fear and insecurity. And I now understand that this, I never had life insurance before, right? I never saw the value in life insurance because I'm living in the now, right? But there are products out there where you can get a 7 to 12% interest and cash out and borrow the money against and get healthcare, and with all the healthcare. So for me, I had that understanding that even though my PhD is not in finance, right? I didn't spend my life, but I could go back and get a license to be able to help people who are in this same place as me right now have a better place to put money and even possibly have them in the business that is easier than making jewelry. Okay, if they're an artist. So how does that apply to you? I have a feeling, and I don't know if you're ready for this.
Okay.
But with all the things, that's why I want you to write them down. Your skills and ability that are from the MBA, that are from the supply chain, that are from the IT, that are from diversity, even though that's not a well-funded area. IT is, even though things are not great right now with IT, this is a perfect time as a consultant, 1 day a week. You could probably make more in that 1 day a week than you could right now where the coaching is, right? To fund that practice, to fund your podcast, to fund your whatever it is. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. It does.
Okay.
It really does.
Do you have some resistance against that?
No, not at all. So in between the chapter of being going from pharmaceutical to getting my MBA, I was a banker. So I understand. I was actually licensed insurance. Yeah. So yeah.
And there's another chapter.
Yeah, I get that.
Okay.
I totally understand that. You're speaking the language.
So I want you for 18 minutes a day. It's called Google Play or Christina Play because my niece works for Google. Actually, my niece and my nephew. So you just sit, you take those 3 breaths, and then whatever keyword comes in, you put it in the search.
Okay.
And just see where it goes.
Okay.
I've had clients that have done this who have landed the most amazing either job or gig or whatever it is because they spent 18 minutes a day allowing the source, the flow, right? The same flow that when you're helping people, allow for the UP, #UP, unlimited possibilities to go there.
That's good. I'm with it.
You with it? Oh, let's just play for 1 second before. Let's see. I'm going to take. Close your eyes. What's the word that comes to your mind?
Just now?
Pardon?
Just now, love.
Yeah, love. Okay. And I'm going to put love and IT just for fun. Okay. So what is love? It's all in the mind, the hard truth. Do you see it?
Yeah, I'm supposed to open my eyes?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Open your eyes.
Okay. Here we go.
Okay. So I'm scrolling down. What hits you?
8 rules right there. You just scroll past one.
All right. 8 rules of love. How to find it, keep it, let it go. All right. It's by Jay Sherry. It's a book. Okay. Now let's go in. Let's go look in this here. Okay. What stands out to you here?
Deepak. I gotta. It's so funny.
Right. Okay.
Session with him coming up.
Let's go to Deepak. And which one here?
Screen is still the same. It hasn't changed.
Oh, screen hasn't changed. Okay, that's because I'm doing this. Chopra. All right. What?
Right there. Living the light.
All right.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to a new episode of Savvy Talk. As you know, we're focusing this season on experts. And today I am delighted to get one of the world's biggest experts when it comes to meditation, yoga, spirituality, wellness, longevity.
Okay. So you get what I'm trying to do,
Yeah,
right?
use your intuition. Guide you through. That's beautiful.
So 18 minutes a day.
Okay.
Put the timer on. So what you're going to do is exactly that.
Okay.
And just see what where it takes you. And why is this important? Because we are such a thinking, analyzing, mentally oriented race. That we forget that we're connected to the power that created the planets that don't crash into each other at night so we can have another day.
Exactly.
And when we allow ourselves out of that limited perspective, which is what I've been trying to do, right? Then you can allow the power, the source, the energy to surprise and delight you.
It's beautiful.
So that's what I'd like you to do. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I'm adding it to my practice.
Okay, good.
Beautiful. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Well, on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you now when it comes to job and career?
I'm feeling the 8 right now because I feel the possibility. I feel the potential. It's beautiful.
And I'm still at 100%. That was a big jump, though. That's great. That's three victory points to the right.
Hit a 3-pointer. Hit Steph Curry.
That's great. That's great. I love doing this too, because I never know what I'm going to say, because I say before I speak, before the session, speak through me. Don't let me get in the way. Let the words be thine and the voice be mine. So there you go. Now I want to know, you have your own podcast. So what is going on there, and what is, I'm guessing this is all part of your new chapter, but tell me about that, and we can give a little love in that direction.
Oh, that's cool. Well, thank you. The podcast is called Akashic Living. It can be found on YouTube, but after hearing your conversation about maximizing your splatter zone, clearly I'm going to maximize my splatter zone, but it can be found on YouTube. Release videos every Tuesday, and they're conversations with people who are tapping into their potential. We've had opportunity to interview some awesome guests from whether it's environmentalists talking about the environment and biohacks for your life, career counselors and professional development speakers. So had a really well-rounded panel of people who are here to do the spiritual work, but also have it show up in their everyday life through practice. So it's Akashic Living on YouTube, but after today's conversation, I'll definitely increase my splatter zone.
Good. Now, what does Akashic mean?
Sure. So that's more or less, if you look at the different elements, the Akasha would be more or less, I guess in English, the ether, right? The source or substance, primary substance, where everything is created. So I said creating for me from my soul, from the primordial aspect of everything, of who we are. So just came up with that title. So
Akashic, I've heard of it.
Yeah. So you probably heard it through the Akashic records, right?
I have a friend named Akasha.
Okay, there we go.
But because she was inviting me to something, about it's to serve as a purveyor of more love, freedom, creativity, abundance, peace, and joy. So yeah, I don't think I've ever formally been introduced. Who made that up? The name.
I did. It came through me. I actually went to a Mary Morrissey conference. It's January 2020. And I'm sitting there and we have to do the time machine. And we're doing the time machine exercise. And all of a sudden it was like, so what would make you feel happy and really raise your vibration? And the name just dropped in, Akashic Living. And that was 2020. Here we are, 2023. And I said, hey, why not make it happen? So like
Wow.
inspiration. Yeah.
Interesting. So there's definitely some more in that, I feel, that you can do with the Google Play. So that'll be your homework, and then you can get back to me, because it's an interesting. Is it an African word? Have you looked up the
Oh,
origin?
it's a Sanskrit. It's a Sanskrit word, actually.
Oh, it is a Sanskrit
Yeah,
word.
it's a Sanskrit word. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Interesting. All right. So you can find Andre on Akashic Living in his YouTube channel as he continues to work in this new chapter of his life. And certainly you can follow him there. And I think that is, did you have a final word? Oh, I know. What is the one thing that you are most grateful for? So I used to do this before I got promoted to the morning show once a week. I would ask my guests, what are you most grateful to or for? So that got replaced with taking a bite of my gratitude sandwich and breakfast in the morning. So we're going to do a little hybrid since we didn't start that way. But to who or what are you most grateful for?
I am most grateful for my life. Point blank, period. For my life, for simply being.
Yeah. And what do you appreciate most about you?
My smile. My smile. It's no matter what happens externally, I don't lose my smile. And so it took a lot of work to get it and to keep it. So it's my smile for sure.
Good. And speak to me about the one thing that has been helpful for in that work to get the smile.
Meditation. Meditation. That's where it begins and ends for me. To being able to be still, to be centered, and to bask in the presence. That's it.
100%. Meditation, if you don't do it, if you wake up in the morning and you start doing this, I promise you're going to have a bad day.
Promise. You promise
I
that.
promise. I'm sorry. I promise. There's nothing to, unless it's my channel, sorry, or Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith, my big brothers, or spiritual leaders, you're most likely going to get caught up in gossip about nothing. So, I'm guilty of that. I couldn't believe that I was following this thread around Natalie Portman. And it's like, you shouldn't. And you just start and then you click. And the next thing you know, you wasted an hour. So I'm guilty too. And I'm working on that. But I'm 88% perfect. So that 12% of the time, I don't beat myself up for not practicing what I teach, but absolutely. Okay. So we did our job. I'm really happy that you were able to raise 3 points today. If you would like to be my next victim, I'm volunteer, just kidding, for life balance coaching on Mondays, please go to drmarissa.life and put in free coaching. It's a $250 to $350 value, and you don't have to come on camera. Andre was brave enough to do that, but if you'd like to be anonymous and also be off camera, we can do that too. So that's Mondays. And don't forget, tomorrow is Step Up into Your Best Life with Beth Linder Moss, my fitness, health, and wellness expert. She's coming on tomorrow. We're talking about sleep. How to get better sleep, and that is tomorrow, Wednesday. I am having Lee, and Lee is a business consultant who is coming on. His name is Lee, and it starts with a CH. And Lee, you'll have to forgive me. I don't always give previews, but he's coming on Wednesday, so you'll have to come. And we're going to be talking about a lot of different aspects of his business. He's in organizational leadership which is it's going to be based around business. So, I cover everything. And then Thursday, Straight Talk with Dr. Marissa and Sam Works. I believe we're talking about toxic relationships. And Friday, my co-host, Alon Carter, who's the daughter of the founder of The Temptation, Otis Williams. So that's this week on Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind. I am going to come back, but we are going to say goodbye and thank you so much for taking the time and the courage to come on. What's the one thing that you're going to keep with you, Andre? It's called a keeper's exercise. And whenever I work with people, both in the organization as well as individually, what's the one thing from this session that you want to keep with you and not forget? What's the one thing you want to keep with you?
So I actually wrote down the 3 things you gave me, and I'm going to keep all 3. So the first one is the reframe, the and, right? No longer the but, right? But using the and as a bridge. Also the evidence, carrying the evidence when I get the negative chatter, right? Carry the evidence of the good and harvest that good throughout. And then also the 18 minutes a day Google. I mean, that's amazing. It increases the intuition, my intuitive faculties, and just allow the source to guide me through. So definitely that. And I'm gonna stop shooting on myself. No more shooting.
No more shooting.
That was a should, not a should.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Otherwise, I'm going to get a call. FCC regulations. Oh my God, Dr. Marissa, what are you saying? What are you having your guests say? It is shoulding on yourself, not the pooping on the other side. Well, it has absolutely been a delight having you on the show. Also, go to his YouTube channel, Akashic Living, to give him some love, follow him. And, I think we should talk also about you being a potential co-host in the future, because I'm always looking for people who can carry it. And you definitely have that gift to add to your list. So I appreciate that you did reach out and connect.
Yeah. Let's do it. Thank you for
following up. Thank you so much.
Indeed.
All right, and that is it with on. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. It's the station that leaves no listener behind. Thank you all. I almost always run out of time and don't have time to thank all those who make this show possible. I am the host producer, but I could not make this show happen without, first and foremost, my sound engineer, Polly, who is taking care of my boards every morning now, for my co-hosts that come on and expand my ability to talk about other things. Also, my station owner, Fred Lundgren, out of Texas. And then my station manager, Mark Westwood, who is based out of Riverside. And then in the entire staff, all the guys. They're all guys. And I love you and I appreciate you. And I thank all of you. Every time I try to say this, I leave someone out, but we'll give it a try. Joe, Miguel, Paula, you're going to have to help me. Rick in the morning, and Mike Lundgren out of Texas as well. Did I miss anyone, Polly? Joe, I said Joe.
Then there's
Eric and Miguel. Yes, I think I got you all. Remember, it's all about balance, peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace. This is Dr. Marissa reporting live from her loving you room, wishing you the best day ever. We'll see you tomorrow.